Good morning, Lee. How you going, man?
Good, man.
That's good.
Yeah.
So obviously I've just got back to your email in regards to wanting to have a consultation with me about some fitness ideas and maybe nutrition advice. Is that correct?
Yep, that's correct.
Okay, so is that why you've come to me today?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, fantastic. So nutrition, I guess, have you come to me for a fitness sort of perspective as well?
Oh, look, I'm doing a lot of ocean exercises, surfing, swimming, and so I'm just basically looking to like lose weight but put on muscle, and just looking for a good nutritional advice to get to that stage.
Okay, so you've come to me for sort of some fitness advice as well as nutrition advice as well. Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
Okay, so fitness advice as well as nutrition support, I guess, as well.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Diet plan would be great.
Cool, okay, right. So what is your goal, Lee, or what are your goals?
I'm like pretty keen surfer, so my goals is basically just to get extra fit, more endurance in the surf. So
Okay, nice and simple, I like that. So to enhance your fitness, to better your surfing.
basically, yeah.
Okay, cool, that's fantastic, that's a nice goal. So improve fitness for better surfing capabilities. I love that, Lee. That's great. You've got a passion like that as well, which is good. So in what time frame are you expecting to achieve these goals of better fitness for these surfing capabilities?
Well, I've spent the last year focusing on my fitness and my nutrition, but I just kind of want to boost that up, go to the next level. So I'm looking at like a 6-month goal.
That's fantastic, man. I love that. So 6 months. Very realistic time frame there, Lee. That's good. 6 months, right? Fantastic. In terms of exercise, what are your preferences with exercise? Are you more of like a stationary sort of exerciser? Do you like to move with your exercises, or a bit of both?
I like to break my exercises up into cardio and body weighted movements.
Okay, cool. So a bit of both, a bit of a hybrid sort of type. Is that right?
But I like to join them up on the same days. So
Fantastic, all right? I'm just going to put like a bit of a hybrid preference. So you like to move with your exercise as well as stationary sort of resistance training as well?
resistance, lightweight cardio, pretty much. Yeah.
Fantastic, all right, cool. So we'll say a bit of a hybrid preference there. That's fantastic. What are your expectations from the time that you'll spend with me, Lee?
Basically, I know that if I can get into a shorter board, bigger surf, that would be what I'd be expecting, to have the fitness to be able to attack that, and the nutrition to be able to surf for longer, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, so your expectations of me are to provide you with adequate fitness and nutritional advice to sort of get you to surf better on these shorter boards. Is that correct?
That's correct, yeah.
Fantastic, man. Okay. Nutrition and fitness advice to achieve better surfing form and results, I'll say as well. So better surfing form and results. That's cool, man. I love that. Right, that's good, man. Okay, Lee, so just really quickly, not even quickly, take your time with it as well. Let's just go over an average day of what you consume in terms of food and drink. So if you'd like, you can sort of split it into a breakfast, morning tea, lunch, afternoon tea, dinner, supper sort of scenario. So you just run me through what you sort of consume on an average day. So we'll start with breakfast.
Breakfast, I normally have a piece of toast, and a coffee.
So one piece of toast?
Yeah.
One piece of toast.
And
What would you usually spread on that piece of toast, Lee?
butter usually.
Okay, one piece of toast with butter
Yeah.
and a coffee.
And a coffee.
Okay.
And 2 coffees.
Two's better than one.
Yeah.
And 2. Now, do those coffees have milk in them, Lee?
Yes.
And 2
Soy
coffees
milk, yeah.
with soy milk.
Vegetarian.
With soy milk. Beautiful, fantastic. All right, moving on to morning tea. So sort of like that little snack that you might have in between your breakfast and your lunch. What would that consist of, Lee?
Normally just go straight into lunch, but early lunch, and I'll have generally like a smoothie.
Okay, smoothie, yeah.
Like, but a pretty beefed up smoothie. So like, you know, anything over 600-700 calories smoothie sort of thing.
So what would you put in the smoothie, Lee? That's
berries, so a couple types of fruits. I put oats, I put good stack of protein powder, milk, and maybe some chia seeds.
oats, protein powder, chia seeds, milk. And what were the fruits that you mentioned there, Lee, that you put in the
Usually
smoothie?
bananas and berries or both.
So one banana?
Yeah, one banana, yeah.
Banana. And maybe a rough idea of how many berries, maybe 100 grams of berries, Lee?
Yeah,
Okay.
a cup, bit over a cup.
Okay, so maybe, we'll say 1 cup of berries, frozen berries. Fantastic. All right, and then lunch, would you usually have lunch, Lee?
Well, generally I split that up into my lunch.
Okay, so sometimes that's what it is, your lunch.
Depends if I have a big serve.
Okay.
You know, I'll have that. But if I was to have a snack before my lunch, I'd probably have just another piece of toast, I guess, when I get back from, you know, exercise or whatever.
Okay, right. So we could probably change the smoothie into lunch.
Yeah.
All right, morning tea. We'll write even lunch there as well. And I guess that snack before lunch can sometimes consist of another piece of toast
Something like that.
with butter on it again, potentially.
Butter or some avocado even, beef it up a bit.
Okay, one piece of toast. Ooh,
Sorry, I've stopped that.
that's all right, man. Don't be silly. One piece of toast with avocado sometimes. That's fantastic because avocado is really high in those fats that you're looking for as well, omega-3s, which are fantastic too, Lee. So that's sort of your morning tea and your lunch out of the way. Skipping to the next meal, if you were to say it was a meal, afternoon tea, what would you sort of have around that time of the day on average?
Probably another coffee. You know, maybe I don't know, maybe a muesli bar, something like that.
Afternoon tea.
If I'm getting around there, I might get a snack or something. But generally, I don't eat that much until I eat dinner.
Okay, right. So afternoon tea, we'll sort of say on an average day, maybe another coffee.
Yeah.
So 1 coffee and the muesli bar.
Yeah, and also nuts or something.
And a muesli bar or nuts. Okay, fantastic. That's good. Okay, moving on to dinner, Lee. What would you usually have for dinner? Just on an average day.
Well, I'd usually like a curry or something. So
Fantastic.
rice with vegetables. Being a vegetarian, I'll have tofu. I'll try and get in a good dose of protein, so maybe some tofu or some beans. But
Cool. Rice with vegetables.
yeah, or like a burger or something, you know. Or
Protein source of tofu or beans.
that's on a good day.
On a good day. Like you said, sometimes it's a burger of an evening for dinner.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Or a burger. So a vegetarian burger as well.
Or eat out or something, you know.
Okay,
Yep.
vegetarian. Sort of takeaway burger. Okay, look, that's fantastic. A nice adequate dinner.
Yep.
Do you consume supper, like another meal
No.
before? No? Alright, cool. So supper, we don't really have to write anything there either. That's
No.
fantastic, Lee. Alright. Not applicable. Fantastic, man. So that's good. What I've got there is a general sort of idea of what you consume on an average day. So in a second, we can sort of go through the amount of serves you get from the 5 food groups a day that sort of align with the Australian Dietary Guidelines. So we'll get to that in a second. Thanks for that. I really appreciate that. Just got a few more questions here, Lee, that we can move on to. So, name, Lee Rigg. What's your address there, Lee?
345.
If you want, Lee, what I might get you to do is you fill this part out yourself.
Yeah.
Probably a bit quicker than me asking you the questions.
Yeah.
So that's good. I've got this to work with, so that's fantastic. Beautiful. Glad you got the gloves on today, mate. It's quite cold.
It's actually cold, isn't it?
Occupation. You can write whatever you want there. Beautiful. Fantastic, Lee. Thanks very much for that. Appreciate that. Okay, we should be able to get through these questions pretty quickly, man. So, have you had a general medical checkup in the last 6 months?
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. Have you ever been told by your doctor or AHP, for allied health professional, to avoid any type of exercise or strenuous physical activity?
No.
Wonderful. If so, please elaborate. Not applicable. Do you have a family history of heart disease?
No.
No. Do you drink alcohol?
Yes.
If so, how many standard drinks per week?
6.
Wonderful. Are you a current smoker?
No.
What best describes your weight history for the last 12 months, Lee? So we've got stable, fluctuating, increasing, and decreasing.
Fluctuating.
Fluctuating, cool. Do you have any current injuries, Lee?
I got a slight hip injury.
Okay, so I'm going to write yes there. If on the back here. Okay, right. So, sort of hip inflammation.
Yeah, inflammation on the hip.
All right, cool. Yeah, just a bit of hip inflammation.
Nothing too serious.
I hope not, Lee. Do you drink tea or coffee regularly? So I'm going to write yes there. How many cups a day?
3 to 4.
3 to 4 cups a day. Okay, that's good, man. 3 to 4 cups per day. Okay, how much water do you drink per day, Lee?
2 litres.
Fantastic, man. That's fantastic. Right, so that's wonderful. I've got heaps of information to work with. What we can sort of do now is go through how many serves of these 5 food groups here that are presented to you from the Australian Dietary Guidelines. We can sort of go through what you consume on an average day.
Yeah. And
sort of work out how many servings you would fit into for each of these categories. So, all right, Lee, fantastic. So, after you sort of giving me what you run through eating on an average day, sort of food and drink wise, I've just used the Eat for Health nutrition calculators, which you can find on the Eat for Health website. These are fantastic for determining your daily energy needs, your nutrition needs, as well as the recommended amount of serves for each of the 5 food groups, which align with a healthy lifestyle and better performance, probably in your surfing and stuff as well. So, in kilojoules, your daily energy needs are 15,370 kilojoules. So, it's probably safe to say that you probably are getting that. You might be falling short on certain days. The activity factor I used there for that calculation is heavy activity. Due to the fact that you surf a lot, on the days where you aren't surfing, or sometimes the days you accompany your surf with a walk, potentially a run and some resistance training, so that's why I used that factor there. Also through the Eat for Health nutritional calculator, I've identified the servings that you would consume on an average day. So the vegetables and legumes, beans, you're getting 4 serves a day usually, around that. Fruit, 2 to 3. Grain food, so the whole grain and the high cereal fibre varieties, 3 to 4. Lean meat and poultry, fish, eggs, tofu, nuts and seeds, legumes, beans, which is sometimes difficult for vegetarians. I sort of find myself in that category as well. So, but you're getting 2 to 3 serves of that, which is good. Milk, yogurt, cheese and alternatives, mostly reduced fats, 2 to 3. And then on an average day, Lee, you're sitting in 0 to 2 discretionary choices. So usually 0, which is fantastic. So keep that up, man. That's good. So through that website, it identifies what you should be consuming on an average day to receive better health. And what a healthy diet also produces, Lee, is less chance of disease. Yep. So a lot of people, especially in Western culture these days, aren't consuming the right foods, eating a lot of preservatives, a lot of food additives, sugar, high fats, energy drinks, all that sort of stuff obviously increases your weight, and then visceral fat around your organs, which is no good. All that's going to eventually do is create disease in your life. It's a complete opposite of longevity. You probably won't live as long. So a healthy diet is just going to deter you away from all those diseases, as well as give you more energy support, and like sort of, instead of having fluctuation through energy, it's more of like a flat line throughout the day, especially from protein as well, Lee, which you get a fair bit of, so that's fantastic. So for you, on an average day, or any day, sorry, the amount of serves you need from each of the 5 food groups, which we spoke about before: vegetables and legumes being 6, fruit 2, grain foods 6, lean meat and poultry 3, milk, yogurt, cheese and alternatives 2.5, and then 0 to 3 discretionary choices. So comparing you with what the guidelines say, on the vegetables and legumes, you're 2 serves short a day. So look, you're not that far behind. I think a lot of people probably do a lot worse. Over night time, I guess, when you were to cook your dinner, maybe a different alternative would be to sort of make some for the next day for your lunch, and then you could probably consume those 6 vegetables over the course of your day.
Yeah.
That might be an easy way to sort of achieve that. Your fruit's fantastic. You get enough fruit sort of in your smoothie in the mornings there, so that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Grain foods is a big one, so fibre is very important for your body to also fight off disease as well. People with low fibre have a lot of issues with their stomach and their gut. Gut health's very important as well for that stabilisation of energy as well. Sort of poor gut can also affect your brain as well, lack of glucose and stuff. So on an average day, you should be trying to consume around 6. You're probably getting 3 to 4. So a good way to potentially get those extra serves throughout the day might be to include some things such as quinoa, alternative pastas throughout the day. So like I said before, with that thing with dinner, you could cook your dinner the night before and then have that for lunch the next day as well.
Yeah.
So getting those 6 serves through your lunch and your dinners. Because you might sort of find it hard to get those servings of grain foods during the afternoon of a snack.
Yeah.
Lean meat, poultry, fish and eggs, you're getting 2 to 3 a day, and that's the 3 is what's recommended from the Eat for Health website or the dietary guidelines, so that's good. The milk, yogurt, cheese and alternatives, so mostly reduced fat, 2.5 serves of what you sort of want to find yourself in a day, and you're sitting in there, so 2 to 3, so that's fantastic as well. And the best part is, Lee, the approximate number of additional serves from the 5 food groups or fats or spreads are 0 to 3, so discretionary choices as well. So, and you're on an average day, Lee, you're not actually having really any discretionary choices as well.
Yeah.
So that's fantastic. That will really align with those goals of yours, which are to lose weight and boost up your performance for your surfing. So even your performance in your resistance training and stuff as well.
Yeah.
So the only things that I would recommend, Lee, that you eat. So like I said before, vegetables and legumes. So more beans, maybe chickpeas, lentils, or your beans, your 4 bean mixes, which are very easy to sort of accomplish of that dinner of a night time, and then perhaps put that as a meal the next day for your lunch. So potentially on your average day of breakfast, you've got your breakfast there. Maybe this is just an idea. Maybe you could like put the smoothie in the morning as your breakfast, or somewhere in between there, and then for your lunch you could have that dinner from the night before,
Or
and then
vegetables and beans or something.
yeah, and then get those 6 serves of those veggies and beans as well, accompanied with those grain foods.
Yeah.
And then you could also have that for your dinner as well, so you'd be fine in getting all your approximate servings throughout the day. So if you were to accompany those eating habits and those eating patterns along with your efforts in your strenuous exercise, your surfing, your walks, your runs, your hikes, your resistance training, I've got absolute faith that you would achieve your goals, you'd lose some weight, your surfing would improve, and I'd like to think, Lee, that you would accomplish those goals within your 6-month time frame. Yep. So, like I said, moving forward, I sort of, within my scope of practice, I can't give you any necessary meal plans or too much nutrition advice. I've actually got some highly trained professionals in that field that I can refer you on to if you need that sort of support. But essentially all you need to do, Lee, is maybe go onto the Eat for Health website, so the Australian Dietary Guidelines. All the information's there, and they give you, you know, the approximate serves that you sort of need to have. And they also have fantastic ideas of how to incorporate those foods into your daily lifestyle.
Yep.
So all that information's there. But like I said, if you don't get enough through that, I can refer you on to some professionals as well, who I'd highly recommend. So, thanks very much for today, man. Oh, another thing I want to touch on is that the difference in the activity level, so sedentary, active, and incidental physical activity, you definitely fall in the active category. So the exercise you're doing is fantastic, and that will definitely align with your goals of losing weight and better performance in your surfing, man. So keep it up.
Cool, dude.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
No worries.
Thanks for coming in today. Like I said, any questions moving forward, you can email me, call me, message me. Anytime you need, man, I'm always here. So
Cool, man.
keep up the good work, man.
No worries, dude.
Pleasure.
Cheers.
Thanks, brother. All right. Great.